Hey everyone, it's Bike Andes. I'm the founder of Augusta Lawn Care, where we have over 150 locations around the world. But today, I am going to a handyman service that has over $2 million in annual revenue.
We are really good at taking care of small stuff.
Just this past spring, they lost hundreds of thousands of dollars and had to fire almost everyone on the entire team.
A spring like we had this year will kill us for 2 to 3 years.
Regardless of what home service business you're in, this is gonna be a really good one if you struggle with having an off season where you can't produce enough revenue to keep your crew busy and make profit. Let's go ahead and roll the coaching tape.
The thing is, like, when I look at the P&L, it's like the thing I'm mostly concerned about is just like the percentage of revenue that goes to COGS.
Yes.
Right? Like literally 80 to 90% goes between direct labor, subcontractors, and then the cost of goods sold and the materials. And so usually that either is two opportunities there. Either one, we have operational efficiencies, things like pay for performance, more efficient, get twice as much work done with the same amount of cost.
It is majority of it is operational efficiencies.
Okay.
You know, I'm not sure if our price is where it needs to be.
That's the second option. It's like it's either price or it's that.
So we're already at 120,
Okay.
and we raised that pretty much across the board from 100 about 3 months ago. Our electrician is $20 more than competition. You know, we're at 180 for our electrician, where you know, the competition's at 160.
Right.
So I'm not sure how much room we have there. I think it's more operational efficiencies.
Right.
Yeah. The work that we've done so far, I'm kind of seeing in the graphs, it's going in the right direction.
Right.
But I'd like to see more.
Yeah.
You know.
Like my thing is this. So like, for example, we have, let's just say maybe 16 technicians, approximately.
No, actually, as far as the technicians, we actually did the numbers on that. As far as actual technicians, there are actually 12.
Okay, 12, and that includes the lead.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, so 12 leads. So if we have 2,000 hours, like full time, there's 24,000 hours. So if we can do 2.4, our effective hourly rate is $100 an hour.
Yeah.
The thing is, then we got to take out our material costs. So out of the 2.4, it's probably like 1.9 is labor revenue. So if we take 1,000,009 divided by the 24,000 hours, divided by 24,000. Now we're looking around 79. So if we're doing 79 and our target hourly rate is 120, that means we're having around 66% efficiency. It's not horrible.
Well, we've had it down. We've had it down to probably about 40.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just with the training, efficient with you know, weather's a big thing. You know, when we go out to do an outside project and all of a sudden it rains. Now we have guys that are sitting for about half an hour until we reroute, until we reschedule, until we so it's those kind of things eat up big time. Yeah. You know, we've been kind of measuring our load times, where we kind of been getting a little bit better every month.
Load time, yep.
Yeah, that's from the time they show up to the time we kick them out.
Yeah.
You know, we're getting better every month, but we're still not there. I think that's this month.
Got it.
We're still not. You know, but the 10 minutes over a year, that's 30 grand with all those guys sitting there.
Yeah. No, totally. Okay. Okay. And then when you moved the price from 100 to 120, did you see any meaningful impact on close ratio?
No.
No. Yeah, like usually the hourly rate, that one's a lot of times we're like, well, we're higher than everyone else in terms of hourly rate. Ultimately, it's what's the price to the customer.
That's correct.
And so sometimes we will have a higher rate, but then because we don't upcharge on our materials as much, or we don't have estimate fees or something like that, we are comparable if not lower.
Because we're really not. It's very rare that we do time and material.
Right. Okay.
You know, everything's estimated, and they're just getting the price.
Got it.
You know, so it's so I'm not quite sure. You know, we're starting to watch a little. Well, we have the ability to watch those little details a lot more now than we did even 3 months ago.
And so right now, like I looked at the balance sheet, but from just like a top level view, from a debt perspective, where are we at?
Probably about 400.
Okay, and then the payables to vendors, I'm assuming, is the other 170 or so.
So I can get the recent one.
I'm guessing that was mostly just the supply. Like that's just like an ongoing bill with your vendors.
So 2 bills on there that are just a accounting adjustment.
Okay.
One from the Office Electric and Plumbing, and one to supply, because we bill them for the admin portion.
Got it.
And they bill us for services. So there's a portion of it that gets paid to them, and a portion of it is accounting adjustment.
That makes sense.
That's where I live.
I love it. The focused room. The room inside the room.
Well, it's when the door is closed, I'm focused. So don't bug me. Let's see. So this is the last quarter.
Okay.
The improvement has,
dramatically since the first 2 quarters.
And then we look at the first 2 quarters. That's where it was. It was really the first quarter that really made a big old hole.
Yeah.
And trying to get out of that is. But as far as the receivables, some of this. Let's see. Some of this is the EMP and electric. Majority of this is EMP and electric. It's more of a. So it ends up same thing on theirs.
Right.
And then.
And on that $400,000 on the debt side, what's the monthly just payment straight on that per month?
I think probably about $3,000 because it's not bad.
So is it mostly just all 0% interest stuff?
So one of our landlord has been awesome.
Okay.
He's let us default for a while, pretty much giving us an interest-free loan.
So that was kind of like the personal loan side of things.
Well, no, he just said, just keep trying, keep paying, and then we'll catch up later. Okay. So we got some barter things going on and things like that. So there's about $30,000 on that. Okay. And then we ended up to be able to fund this whole thing. We sold our rental properties. We took out a line of credit from under a house. And so it's this year has. Yep. Okay. So I think we're probably running out of borrowable money. So we got to make this work.
Right. Oh, the positive aspect, this past quarter has been far better than the first few.
Oh yeah.
Like the first few is really really concerning in terms of your gross margin. Oh, yeah. But okay. And so the 400,000, most of that will be on 5-year terms then? Because how are we only paying $3,000 a month on
that? I missed the SBA.
Okay.
We have a $30,000
So you're just leaving that one for now?
We're just making the minimum payments on that.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're pretty much just kind of defaulted to minimum right now.
Credit cards.
Just yep.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, just take care of anything that's minimum, and so it. Yeah, as far as monthly, I don't think it has been over $5,000.
Okay, well then, from my perspective, it's actually changed a lot since even just coming in today.
Oh, absolutely.
Because just looking at the numbers, it looks like a very different story than what I've seen. Because you've actually kind of turned a lot of the aspects around this quarter. Yeah. My concern is actually what happens in the winter when you don't have all the work coming in. That's my concern. Yeah, and so what's been the strategy in the past? Has it been hey, we kind of just do as much as we can, whatever leads come in?
So as far as workload, we never really slowed down. It's the efficiency that hurts.
Because of the weather.
Because what we do is, right about this time, we start scheduling indoor work. And we have lots of it. So right now, this project, it's in the planning stages right now because we're waiting on permits. Right. But it's a $600,000 remodel. Right. And so by December, we're going to be inside. We should be done with everything outside.
Got
It's an addition. We're redoing the roof and everything else. So we do quite a bit of that. We got other projects on the books, our inside remodels, and if he gets another one, it's another one just a little bit bigger than this, but it's phased out quite a bit.
Got it.
And the bigger ones are not always better ones for us. We are really good at taking care of small stuff, and so bigger ones, they kind of create a relief and then strain also, because it gives us this big old cash flow. It's hard when the cash flow is already tight.
Yeah.
One of the things that we've been trying to do for the last few years is a service contract, and I'll try to show you what it looks like. But it's a 4 quarterly visits.
Okay.
Something like that, and we haven't figured out. We got a quarterly meeting coming up, and we're gonna try implementing that and really putting the fall service in fall inspections.
This would be sold basically as kind of like a year-round checkup quarterly on your property. Here's everything we're hitting. Got it.
Yeah. So just really just preventative maintenance.
Yeah.
Mostly inspections and touch-ups, and any of the repairs would be the upsell.
Got it. Okay. What other services do you make the most money on? Or is it kind of just like, hey, the reason we make money is because we do it all?
Well, yeah, I was just having that conversation with Ed. Yeah. I go, we probably need to start backing off on the things that we're not as good at. And he goes, well, that's gonna take you off the all fix situation. So how do we balance that? How do we create a decent balance where we are taking care of those in a proper way? But I had one person say, well, how are you dealing with those tasks that are asked that are $50 an hour items?
Right.
We pretty much say we have to have 120.
Yeah.
And Garrett's gotten really good at that. He says we have to have that. And he tries to refer others. Those guys will probably be cheaper because this is where we have to be, and they're still choosing us.
Right.
Because there is something that we're providing that. So we're still doing those low cost items at that rate.
Because like what I'm trying to prevent is like a spring like we had this year will kill us for 2 to 3 years, like in terms of just the hole that it builds. And so if the Achilles heel that caused this past spring is finding great laborers that are super skilled, the question is, can we reduce the threshold of skill required for people to be profitable?
Well, that's a tough one because we pretty much been weeding out our low skill, and
which isn't bad. It's more a matter of like, is it hard to find, like, because for example, if you only have 1 or 2 people that can do one service and one person leaves, you just bottleneck the entire organization if they're waiting on that one person for different projects, for example.
And we're not in a way because we're cross training everything.
Okay, so everyone is kind of cross.
Everyone is cross trained.
Got it. Okay.
We just have experts.
Got it. Okay. Makes sense.
So everybody is cross trained, and we can bring in a second guy, or third guy, and we're able to split them up pretty well.
Okay, but if the cost to train someone to be that jack of all trades is, to your point, 50, 60, 70 grand, is there certain 1 or 2 services that take the majority of that time? Because that's a huge cost of like onboarding somebody.
So we feel that we can reduce that to about 10 grand.
Okay.
With some processes.
Okay.
If you don't mind me turning the screen on, we kind of been working on it, and we kind of been getting stuck in our situation. So pretty much this is for us to be able to produce a product. This is kind of our flow.
Yeah.
And so we already have some of the processes built for the actual work being done, the training. We got some training videos and things like that. So recently we kind of started to change the format and do it this way, and now we're just going to start attaching our processes to here for each thing. And looking at the cost, that because we had experienced guys already, even though there was 5, the 17, if I would take that training cost, I think we already reduced it just by changing the way we're approaching and having multiple people to train.
Got it. So like kind of batching them at
Yeah.
the time. Okay.
So I think we already reduced it. I think we can reduce it, and that's kind of something, last couple of quarters I've been talking about. We got to get this down to about 10 grand.
Yeah.
So we can onboard.
So what does onboarding look like right now? Like onboarding and training, is it like basically on a lot of on the job stuff?
So a lot of it on the job side. I bring in for a week. I bring him in and for an hour, and go over our culture, our how we do things as a team.
Is that one-on-one?
That's one-on-one.
Got it.
Yeah, and then the other portion is really attaching them to the guys in their specialty. So we're doing a personality test and everything to make sure the personalities line up, and then just trying to attach them to the other guys. It doesn't always work because depending on the job, we're not able to send the same type of guy, or sometimes we can't even send 2 guys out. Right. Because a lot of our jobs are one guy type jobs. Right. But it kind of causes us to send out 2 vehicles sometimes if that one guy needs help for about half an hour, doing some heavy lifting or something, and then we move the other guy to another job. Yeah. So for that purpose, it's we kind of been sending two guys out, because we're able to split them up.
Yeah. What's the retention like? Like if you train someone up, do they usually so at least this year, have they been sticking around the whole time, or is there a pretty good fall off after a few weeks?
We had only 2 people quit in 7 years.
Okay, well.
Yeah, we parted. We noticed and parted with quite a few.
Right.
But usually I try to. So in the past,
I like how delicate you say it. We parted with them. That's a much better way of saying fired. We parted ways. We found that our paths did not cross anymore.
That's correct. Because even though the word fire it really means the same thing, yeah. but we really I feel like we're all on the same mission.
Yeah.
So if we're not on the same mission, let's just decide to go a different direction.
But like this year, for example, like out of, let's just say 20 people that you might have interviewed, on board, etc., do we have maybe 10 or 15 of them? We only have 2.
No. Oh, out of the no.
All of out of
yeah,
only
we
2
lost
have
2.
left. That's not bad. That's not bad.
No,
Yeah.
we go through 3 days of and interrogation, and just making sure that those guys will.
Good. That's really good.
In the past I've let people stay way too long.
Right.
That shouldn't have.
Right.
And that's something we realized, within a few weeks we need to make that decision.
Right.
If that person's not gonna work.
And so right now that training is basically you kind of doing a cultural thing, then you do the personality test stuff, and then I'm assuming there's like all these services that you kind of need to hit all of them.
So personality tests, we're doing that in our interview process.
Got it.
Just because we have certain personalities that work better.
Yeah.
And majority of we use a BEST test. Let's see, where is it? And majority of our techs are high technical and high, and the best ones are high sympathetic, where they really want to help people.
Right.
Yeah, so majority of our people are right in here.
Got it.
We got a few bolder ones, then that ends up me, Tim, and Aaron, really, the estimator sales.
Right.
You require a little more boldness, but we are less on technical. but you got like Ed, he's super high on technical but low bold. So certain ones, but I've also been keeping a record of those who aren't working with us. So it's it's been working pretty well.
Yeah. No, like there's I think there's a lot of good positive things that where the company is going. Honestly, I really do. I'm mostly concerned in two things. One is the short term, like just from the cash position, and then secondly is how do we prevent this past spring from ever happening again?
That's where I'm at with you.
Because it will sink a business for literally 3 years. Like what happened this spring will take us 2 to 3 years to financially recover from. And so then it's a matter of like how do we build the business in a way that will never happen again.
Yeah, that's why you're here.
Yeah, so like from a short-term cash position, because I know there's like a lot of stress in that area right now. What's the kind of strategy around receivables? Because there's a good chunk there that we could get a little bit of breathing room on.
Well, and so a lot of it, stuff that's
it's on the balance sheet probably. Yeah. I think there's like 140, 150.
So 140, but realistically, it's probably minus 36.
Over 90 days,
yeah.
You're not gonna get it basically.
No, so everything is here. So this is mostly our internal.
Got it.
That we need to just do accounting adjustments.
Got it. Okay. I see what you're saying with the electrical.
Yeah. And some of this stuff is either held up with punch lists or things like that. And so as far as the collections, the guys have been going through it once a week and making sure we're calling them and collecting them. So we don't have a whole lot of bad debt coming up.
Okay.
We got one that we are going to write off, which isn't all that big. After the job was done, we did some work outside. Their house caught fire. Her husband died in that fire. And she, sweet thing, she tried making payments, and we go, yeah, that's enough. So it just those kind of things, and then
what percentage of the revenue now is residential versus commercial? Is it mostly residential?
About 99%, yeah.
Okay. Do you put cards on file for the smaller projects or not?
Some, not very many.
Okay.
Because most of them have been pretty good, and this whole year we've been trying to reduce the cost of the card.
Right.
So we've been trying to collect with check or cash.
Are your leads responsible to collect that at the end of the job, or are you still kind of depending on after the job completion?
So we didn't have a very good process for a while. So for about 2 months now, we pretty much fine-tune that with the estimators and dispatch, because he's already communicating with the customers at the end of a project. He's supposed to call, how has everything turned out? Are you 100% happy? I'm sending the invoice. Can you? And I'm gonna send you a Google review link. Can you do that? So that sort of thing. And we fine tune that a little bit. We still have some work to do on that.
Yeah.
But that's
because like from a short-term perspective, even though a lot of it's not going to go bad debt, we're collecting it in 60 to 90 days, a big chunk of it, and that is like going to really hurt. Mostly when you do have that winter lull, because now the 30-60 day will catch up to you.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you're starting to change it now, like one thing we will do with projects is like, look, when you do the walkthrough, you collect the final check, and then dispatch isn't having to worry about the admin time required to collect on. It's like the lead is required to collect final check and final payment at the walkthrough.
So we pretty much did that with the sales guys right now. So the estimators to do that 10-80-10, so that the final 10.
They come back to the project.
Yeah, and that way they can actually look at other, because they're already, the customer's already talking about, and talking to a lead about that, it just kind of ends up getting buy side. So we kind of divided that time to 10% at the beginning, make sure they have the materials, verify the materials are correct and everything, because they're the only ones that know what that is going to be.
Yeah, what percentage of the project total do you think the estimator is actually going back? Is it pretty much, that's like standard operating procedure, estimator goes back to the end of the job?
That's been new.
Okay, yeah, I really like that, because the thing with handyman is that there's unending things they can do.
That's correct.
And so like that walkthrough process, I think, can become collections, and then it becomes this thing.
And that's something that we've been working on this month. This entire month is how we fine tune how we put that into that process. Is exactly.
How have those been going when the estimator goes back? Have they been getting some upsells and like more projects? Okay.
Yeah, it's been effective. I wish we would have done it earlier, but we didn't have Aaron and.
Is it a production process?
Yes, thank you.
Bottom left there.
Yes, thank you. So if we go toward the end, so that's pretty much right there.
Got it.
So we got the progress invoicing, quality control punch list, and that's done by the estimator. Then close out punch list. That's pretty much the final walkthrough and upsell.
Got it.
And then we got punch list approval. So the estimator is responsible for those. And then.
Do you think you can move the payment received part back to the estimator? Like, because right now it's going back to Garrett at the CRM side. Like, I'm just trying to think if we can collect final payment, we're going to literally increase our cash flow by 30 to 60 days almost immediately. Because we, even with if we take out the 90-day plus stuff, we're still over 100,000. Where
fixed.
Yeah. Because I think invoice and review. Because the challenging part here is you have Garrett still doing the final invoice and review, so the estimator wouldn't have the power to be able to do payment received. However, if Garrett touches base with the estimator prior to the walkthrough, he can be like, hey, this is what needs to be billed, and then it's like, here, take this.
Yep. Well, Garrett can really just do that final call to make sure that they receive the payment, everything's, the follow up for the review portion. But yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, that'll help a little bit with the cash flow side, because I really think you turned a big corner. I think it's just a matter of, that short-term cash position. Like, if we could literally just collect even 50 grand of that right now, that would just give us a little bit of breathing room.
We will actually within the next few days. We're wrapping up 2 of the bigger projects. Okay. So probably I'd say we're going to be way more than that next few days. So that's and then by that time we should be demoing. Probably next 2 weeks we should be demoing, and our progress payment is as soon as we're done with the demo, then we're doing another 160 grand that's not even on here that's billed. So it's building up to that, but it's it just doesn't show on the reports.
Totally. And on Garrett's side, on the leads portion, like how much is he like overwhelmed with leads, like estimates, just getting them out? Or is there capacity?
On Aaron's or Garrett? Garrett is the dispatch.
Sorry, I meant Aaron. Aaron, my bad.
So right now he's not overwhelmed.
Okay.
We use Home Advisor a little bit, and we turn them on and off as needed.
Okay.
Yep. And so right now he's not overwhelmed, and Tim is back in the game. I backed everything off of him for a while because he had a burnout.
Right.
And
that's when Aaron came on, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So right now with Aaron kind of put a little more wind under his wings.
Okay.
Tim?
Tim, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Right.
So Tim is we're kind of conditioning him to go more after service contracts.
Got it.
Because he is the little figure out type guy, and
I really like this because I would love to see some recurring revenue. And what's nice about all these projects, like the install, et cetera, like everyone wants a warranty on stuff. And so your warranty becomes your maintenance package. Like we will warranty all our work as long as you're on this maintenance package where we're coming every quarter. And so what's your pricing going to look like this? Is it going to be an estimated?
That's the one thing we haven't fully figured out.
Okay.
But we have few ideas that I think they seem a little on the low side.
Okay.
But
and ultimately, like even if your good, better, best model you have, even if the good one is like ridiculously cheap in your mind, you're like, we can never make money on this. The objective is to upsell them. And so if you have it as like you name it the packages differently, but then you also this is like when you go to a mechanic, it's like this is their 70-point inspection. You just have different points on each of these, right? So like the all fix is like your 75-point inspection on your house, and here's all the stuff you're gonna get for it. This one's a 50, this one's a 25. And you know that 25 one is basically walking around the house and taking pictures. and you know it's going to be like less than an hour in and out, but they're not going on the roof, they're not checking underneath the crawl space. It's like, this is the 25-point package, and you're basically showing up to their house.
And just inspecting the outside envelope.
Yep.
Inside.
Yep, looking for visual leaks, taking a picture or two. Like, that is a package I would really make it.
That would be easy to train.
That would be.
Well, and I would incentivize like crazy your upsell after projects. Because the level of conversion from a one-time project into recurring is a direct implication of how satisfied the customer is. Because if they're happy with your job, they liked your crew, and then the estimator comes in right at the highest point of activation and says, why don't we just warranty this forever? They should be able to close a lot of these.
Oh, yeah.
And then we have this, like, instead of revenue going like this, there's going to be this slow recurring build until finally we can make 60, 70% of revenue is just from this program.
Yeah.
Right? So, I like it. I think it is the packaging part, right? Like, how can we say this in one sentence? How do we explain this to customers? Like, if we start going into like all the details, customers just back up and like, I don't understand this.
Exactly.
They don't know. If you start naming off important units of the house, they don't like inspection and crawl space. Good, but if I start going into like different types of vents and I go into this, they're just like they're checking out. Like, that's like the fine print. It's like, hey, the one pager is we're doing 75-point inspection. We warranty everything, and if anything breaks, we'll come fix it immediately. Then they see, oh wow, all this like GFCI outlets. Most like 90% of customers are just like, cool. What is that?
Yeah, it just
right?
blows over their head.
Right. So even if we can just create these as like one pagers, and like from a sales team perspective, we have the one sentence version, we have the paragraph version, we have what we sell to new customers, because there are going to be people that come in. This is where like the trucks I think could be valuable, is putting something on the truck that says like, we maintain like year-round 71-point inspection. Give us a call. Or even if you really go after the snowbirds, because I know this area has like a ton of them. It's like you literally put that on your trucks. Like, call us for inspections of your house year-round while you're out of town, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because if you lean into that, that's your marketing. Anything you get, like, that's your top of the funnel. You're not making a lot of money on, but you get them in the door, and then you're literally, anything that happens wrong with that house, you will get the lead.
Oh, yeah.
They're not going to go to anyone else.
Yeah.
You know their house, they trust you, you've been in their house a bunch.
Yeah.
So
I have people, all the way 30 minutes away, they'll call us for any little thing.
Yeah.
Something breaks, or the ones that they
You know,
call.
we have people calling us to replace a doorknob.
Yeah.
You know,
that's me, dude.
And we
I stink at
and we
this
have a
stuff.
$250 minimum.
Yeah.
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 They're okay with it. We have people calling us to replace a battery and a smoke alarm.
Yeah.
That's $250 minimum.
And you pitch all those people like, hey, it's $250 a month. You're gonna basically take that money that we would otherwise have just for a service call. You don't have to call in. We're just gonna show up.
Exactly.
Your scheduled time. The automation is gonna tell you a week before that we're showing up, and you don't have to worry about the $250 minimum for a doorknob. Just get the doorknob, put it next to it, and we'll pop it in there.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're already doing a door inspection, checking all the seals.
Yeah.
It takes 5 minutes.
Yeah. And then like even on the website, like having the packages really simplified. You gotta like make it super basic for people, right?
What you thinking? How would we simplify that farther?
Simplify it further, but still have the legal backing.
Yeah. Like I think the legal part is you have to have it somewhere, right? So on the website, when they sign something, it's like, hey, click here for more information. They click it, and then there's all this stuff. And then they say, by agreeing to this or accepting, you agree to the terms and conditions, and it's there. I would just try to think about a house from a customer's perspective. It's literally like above the house, roof, inside of the house, under the roof, and outside of the house. That's probably your 4 points right there. Mm-hmm. Right? And like, yes, in each of those we have 10 different things. But if you were talking to a customer, it's like everything from here up, we cover. Everything from here to there is covered. Everything outside your house covered, and then everything below this floor that'd be the 4 things. And so then that'd be your packages.
Yeah.
Right? As soon as you get on the roof, like you all know, like that's where costs start going up.
Oh, yeah.
Your skill level needs to be higher. Yeah. The level of inspection is much greater. But if I get them on a 1-point package, which is walking through their house and checking for visual leaks, that level of skill is much lower. Yeah, I think a matter of like branding these, like just calling this like spring, summer, fall, winter, and then putting something around the Allfix brand around it would be super beneficial. It also allows you to make it memorable around the branding, like the Allfix side of things. And I really think like your big package is Allfix. And even if you said, let's just pretend like we did roof, interior, under, and outside, that would be considered Allfix, all 4. Then you have this like the 3, the 2, and the 1, and they could just choose. It's like, hey, if you just want to do your roof and your interior, that's the 2-point package. Then we have the 3-point package, and then we have the all fix.
Garrett, you're hearing all this, right?
I don't think it would be the roof and the exterior.
You would know much better than I. You would know
If
much
you're
better
close
than
enough
I.
and you're available, join us. Yeah, because he would be the one doing most of the.
Yeah, this is great. What we're kind of talking about is like, how do we simplify it really easy for a customer and then make it like packages? And so my thought is, and again, you all know much better, like timing and all that sort of thing. But like for a customer, it's like we can protect your roof, like above here. We can cover from your roof to your ceiling inside of your house. We can cover underneath, basically your crawl space, and then we can cover outside. And even I guess it include foundation too, if they're not on a crawl space.
That kind of would also fit in with this phrase I use a lot with new customers. As I say, we have a team of 10 technicians who can take care of your foundation to your roof and everything in between. It's pretty much the same thing you're saying for that.
Because then what someone could do is like, hey, I want to have the year-round package, but I only really I'm focused most on my roof. I've had a lot of problems with it. I've had to replace it a couple times. I am tired of these massive bills. Can you just come inspect that? That'd be the 1-point package. Then like the 2-point package, I want the roof, and then I want the crawl space because I hate going down there. And then you have the 3-point package, and then the 4-point would be like the all fix package. And that's the one you'd warranty. That's the one, if anything goes wrong, we will cover it. And then you mark that up in your selling entry.
Yeah. So we could even go up higher on the full warranty one.
Yeah. Like if
quite a bit.
Yeah, and then if you brand it all fix, it becomes like the de facto package. And then every estimator, when they're collecting
The all fix
invoice,
package.
well, think about it like that. Think about it too, like from a customer's perspective, I am literally using all fix. If I don't use their package,
Yeah.
well, like I'm not getting the full deal.
Yeah.
You know.
That's a good point.
And so then that just becomes at the
I
end.
do like the half fix.
You're like, if you really want to do it, we'll give it half back. It's half off.
Or the quarter fix.
Yeah, the quarter fix. We'll put some duct tape. The duct tape package.
Tape on it.
Well, yeah. Sometimes we tell people, we have to have a minimum just to breathe air in your driveway.
That's the duct tape package. Oh man. Well, good. I know you're busy, but hopefully that's a little bit helpful. I think it's a matter of packaging. What are our customer segments? And then if we have really nail that, I'd go after the 1,500 people just ruthlessly. Because if you really think you can get 100 people, then it's a matter of, okay, can we do 100, 150, and then 200? And then we track the conversion of one-time jobs into these packages forever. Right? It's the natural progression. At highest point of activation, we collect invoice and immediately are going into this. They just gave you $40,000. Now you're asking for $250 a month. This is an easy sell.
Yeah, no, that's encouraging. I wanted to get your feedback on this. We've been working on this for a long time, to put it together, to figure it out. And
because what's killing the business is the seasonality. Absolutely. It's that one quarter a year. We call it Q4 collapse. In Q4, stuff drops. Leads, efficiency for the crew, revenue, profit, all off the board. And if we take out that one quarter of even this year, it's not bad. It's that one quarter that's sinking us.